Hi, Daniel. Welcome back.
Hi. Yeah, nice to see you.
How have things been going since our last session?
Um, I would say kind of about the same, but I feel like the last session kind of helped me think about them a little differently. So
Okay.
a little improvement in that sense.
So I wanted to try something, not an experiment, but something that maybe will let you or bring you to where you can think outside the box a little bit. Would you be open to doing this?
Yeah, I'm definitely
Okay.
open to that.
So I created a little bit of a worksheet and I'm going to fill it in as we speak. So if I look down, it's just because I'm writing down a
Okay.
couple things that you might say. And I want you to think about what we talked about last week and how, and pick an example of when you are feeling, even though you're excelling, as though you're very thin and you're not excelling to your standard. Kind of think about a situation in the last week where you've experienced some of those similar feelings and just kind of describe it to me if you would.
Okay. Um, I guess I would say had like a big exam, um, and having to study for that on top of doing the outpatient internship, on top of working all the time. It just like feel spread in the sense of I'm not able to commit as much time to each task, I guess, as I would like to, or as I kind of pride myself on being able to. Um, and I think that's at least recently probably the most glaring aspect of it. I just get kind of get in my head about I'm not giving 100. I'm not able to give 100% to each one of these different things that I would love to. So
Um, so what would you say would the exam be your most stressful time during that?
I would say so. Yeah.
Okay. So you're describing what happened. What was kind of going through your mind? You're getting ready to take this exam. Maybe what are the feelings that you're experiencing right before that or during it?
Sure. I mean, definitely some anxiety. That's definitely building up. Um, I guess a lot of pressure uh, to perform as well, both again in the working aspect, employment, hold myself to kind of a high standard in that sense, and then performing on the exam itself, on top of clinical internship place as well. So um, I guess the biggest thing for that is anxiety. I guess I keep going back to that. It just makes me very nervous, anxious, um,
Okay.
not
Were there
able to.
any other emotions attached to your anxiety that you experienced?
Um, I guess it's sometimes it builds a little high. I do get a little, I guess, sad, depressed, in a sense, um, just because it feels like I'm not able to give myself to all of that,
Okay.
or not. I guess that, like we had talked about, the perfectionism type of it. It's hard to, it just falls short, so it makes me feel that way a bit.
Okay.
Um, those are the big two, at least, that I can
Okay.
think of on the top.
So when you're feeling this way, what happens to you physically? Like what were you experiencing in that moment? Can you remember?
Physically,
Yes.
yeah, I would say I definitely get like sweaty hands a lot, especially when I'm extremely anxious.
Okay.
I get a little bit of chest pain, I would say. Kind of when I don't really don't know how to describe it. I've had it looked at a couple times with medical stuff, but it seems to be fine. Sweat. I get little ticks, I think a lot too. Um, I'll start bouncing, like I guess my legs would bounce a lot, or I'll try to play with things with my fingers. Kind of keeps me interested.
Okay.
And
Thank you.
then yeah,
Go ahead.
the stomach as well sometimes,
Stomach.
like intestinal issues or any type of that.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate you really getting in touch with how you've been feeling in this situation. I want to ask you, when you're getting ready to take the exam and you're feeling that anxiety, how would you rate it on a scale of 1 to 10?
Um, right before it,
Yeah.
I would probably rate it pretty highly. I would say a 7, 8, maybe.
Okay.
It's probably
And during it, does it lessen?
I would say so. I think once I actually get into it, it definitely, yeah, tips down.
Would it be fair to say it maybe is a little bit of a transitional anxiety?
Yeah, that sounds
Okay.
appropriate for, yeah.
Okay. And then you said sometimes if it gets to be so overwhelming, you can start to feel yourself pull back and maybe feel a little sad or depressed. How would you rate that on a scale of 1 to 10?
Um, I, I would say I would say it's kind of average, like five,
Okay.
4. Um, it doesn't get too bad that I've ever really focused on it, but I definitely can feel a difference in my emotional state and stuff like that.
Thank you. And then as far as physically, you mentioned, your hands being sweaty. I heard you say that you may have some chest pain, but it doesn't tie to anything physically
Yeah.
diagnosed.
No.
And, bouncing legs, moving your hands, and then of course, stomach or intestinal, which a lot of people get, obviously. It's something that's extremely common. But if you were to think about your physicality in that moment before you have this stressful situation, how would you rate your physical symptoms? Like, how would you rate that chest pain from 1 to 10?
Like in the peak of this anxiety,
Hmm.
probably pretty high. I would say 6, 7 at
Okay.
that point.
And how about the stomach? How about your stomach in that situation?
I think the stomach is sometimes the worst.
Okay.
So I would say that's 8 or 9. I think I feel it the most in
Okay.
that sense.
So when you're in the midst of these feelings and physically and emotionally, what did you want to do? Like, what did you want to do or what did you do?
Well, I do. I just push through it. I guess I don't really. Um, I guess I just kind of try to think in a sense, but I would have liked to just not do any of it, not take the exam, or um, just kind of get out of the situation.
Okay. We've all been in those moments where we've thought, should I do it? Should I wait? Is there a better time? Um, thank you for that. And so in this situation, I want you to think about, okay, pushing through, which you obviously did, or not taking it at all, which you wanted to possibly do. Um, you pushed through, okay? And you said that your anxiety came down a little bit during the exam. But attached to that feeling is also you pushing yourself through because of past experiences, which you have mentioned, as well as you setting yourself very high standards. Okay. So when you're sitting there thinking, I just got to push through, I guess I have to push through this, what is supporting that? What's the driving force there? What's the fact in this situation that you have to do it?
Um, I think it goes back to the standard, I guess, of what I was. I guess if we really want to go far back, I guess it goes back to like I talked about my dad, kind of that perfectionism, like pushing me to those limits. And then from there, that's kind of how my mind has been like, oh, I have to, this is what I'm like meant, this is what I have to do. It's just built into me in that sense. There's no quitting, there's no running away from it. I just have to get through it.
Like a feeling of obligation?
Yeah, that's a good word to associate with it.
Okay. So if you didn't, what would happen?
Yeah, I don't even know. Um, I guess, well, I don't know. I might even feel worse to an extent. Because again, I just have that drive to be able to do it all. And if I ended up actually following through with those feelings at times, it might even make me feel worse. So I don't even know.
Thank you for your honesty with that. I can actually see your posture changing a little bit. And is it uncomfortable to talk about it, not taking the exam or that anxiety? Are you starting to feel that anxiety at this moment?
Yeah, I would say so. I would say, yeah, even talking about not even doing it, right? It's something I don't think I would ever be able to actually commit to doing. So,
So I have a question for you. In your opinion, what's a more realistic way to approach this stressful situation? I mean, obviously, emotionally and physically. What's another way you can look at it? What you think could be helpful to you as far as your thinking before you get into a stressful situation where you're feeling this anxiety and a little bit of sadness and the obligation and the pressure? What's an approach? What do you think?
Um, I think I think you had mentioned a little bit about past experiences. I think I can kind of use that as a way of saying, oh, I felt this before and I can get through this in that sense. Um, or maybe using it as like, oh, I care about this. Like having this anxiety means I do care about what I'm doing and trying to get to that objective. Um, so I guess I can kind of shift it in that positive manner.
So instead of thinking I have this obligation and I have to do it and I have to be great at it, maybe stepping back and saying, attaching some new feelings to it.
Mhm.
Okay. Or maybe some new thoughts. So if you could go, let's go back for a second. What's something that you could say to yourself that would help you to, like maybe rewrite your thought in that moment? So you're thinking, oh my gosh, I have so much to do. What is a thought that you could tell yourself that would lessen your anxiety?
Um, Maybe like I've gotten through this before,
Okay.
something along those lines at least.
Okay. So how would you really like to feel in that moment?
I guess without all of the different aspects of it, I wouldn't want to feel any of this stuff, right? The physical symptoms or the mental. Uh, so I guess I would rather feel confident, I guess, in that sense, or like prepared.
Okay. So what could you tell yourself when you are in the moment that would make you feel those feelings? What could you tell yourself? What thoughts could you bring into your head that would release different feelings for you?
Mhm. I mean,
Besides just, I've been through this before. Go ahead.
I guess we can go the simplest of like, oh, I can do it. Um, I'm prepared enough to do this. I've put in the work enough to be able to do this. I can also be like, I have the privilege of doing this as well, right? Being able to have all of these different things going on in school and field placements and employment. So,
You should see the way your face changed in this conversation. You're smiling, and it's good to have those thoughts connect to our feelings and then connect to our behaviors. So if you were to tell yourself, you know, I have been through this before and I got through it. Okay. But if you think to yourself, you know, I'm very lucky to have the ability to take this and I'm going to try my best. And when you change that dialogue in your thinking process, you can actually connect your behaviors, thoughts, and feelings. So I want to re-rate you just for a second. If you were to tell yourself right before taking the exam with all the other things you have going on in your life, and you took that moment to cognitively think a different thought, how do you think your anxiety would be from 1 to 10?
yeah, I think it would be way less now talking about it. I think it'd probably still be there, but I think I'm more like threes at this point, right?
Okay. And then how about your physical being?
I also, yeah, I think in general, right, getting rid of that, um, that would be lower as well. Probably again, three, four.
Okay. So what I'd love to do with you is to work on a thought process, some self-care, things that you can put in place, thoughts you can tell yourself to actually make you feel different in that moment. And then when you take the exam and you're more relaxed, you could get a better grade. Just by seeing you talk about it and the different the effect of your face, I think that we'll work on this a little bit more together and come up with some of those thoughts and see where we can take it. What do you think?
Yeah, yeah, I would love to do that.
Excellent. So I want to thank you for doing this little worksheet with me. And one of the things I would love you to do is always take a moment right before you have any stressful situation and just do a nice couple of deep breaths. So yeah, and I will look forward to scheduling you for our next appointment.
Yeah, yeah. we definitely could do that.
All right. Thank you again.
Yes, thank you. Nice to